So today, I just want to do a brief session, hopefully, on C#. Sometimes you do these courses online on Pluralsight, and I have done many. And one course that I would like everyone that's in C# they should take is LINQ Fundamentals by Scott Allen. And Scott Allen is really good. And this particular session is going to be a drill down into something he did in Module 3, LINQ and C#, and the clip is using Func and action types. Now, I don't think he gave a very concrete example of using action, and that's what I'm going to focus on in this session. I might do one on Func as well, just to make sure I've solidified how to use it for myself. But anyway, so I was doing the code for the course, and then he kept deleting code and replacing it. He would do it the query method, and then he would do it the method, and honestly, I wanted to preserve everything, so I kept doing it. And this method here, all the older code, has everything that he put in there. And then I learned how to change the color of the text. It wasn't really hard, but I ended up adding a lot of repetitive code, like what's right here. It's a right line, and a foreground color, and a right line, and a foreground color change, just so I could see what was going on when I would run the code. So I'm going to run the code now, and he had me using the file from the government on cars. Has everyone, I guess. Error. So let's see. That's my new code. Invalid expression term slash. Oh, I see what happened here. My comment got botched. Alright, let's try it again. Sorry about that. That's what happens when you let it sit open for a long time on your desktop. Okay, so it ran behind the scenes. But you see I've got these color changes, and it does do a lot to make things more visible. And, I got kind of jealous of all these other programs out there. You run an installer, it does all these different colors for different circumstances. And, I should know how to do that. So this is pretty nice. But it could always be a little bit better. And I'm not one of those persons to go crazy and say, hey, you should reduce code all the way down to like the minimal number of lines of code. Because, at the end of the day, people have to read your code. And you want it to be readable. And so, let's go back here. That was actually the new code. So I took this code here and I copied into a new method. And I'm not going to go into detail about this code. If you take Scott Allen's course, he takes you through everything. It's really good. So scrolling. There we go. So I changed it here. It's a new method. And what I did is I added these lines of code right here. One thing that kept irritating me was constantly writing console.writeLine and sending the string. It makes the line longer and a little bit less readable. So here I know I'm writing a console program, so I just renamed it to message. Message is equal to calling console.writeLine string. And you see here, when you define your action, you define the action plus any parameters that need to go to it. Unlike a func, where the last parameter is the type of the data being returned, there's no data being returned here. So it's just action, string. I'm giving it a name. This is the name of the string, goes to console.writeLine, sending that string along to the console.writeLine. So let's go take a quick look at what that looks like. And over here it is. This line is equivalent to, if I can get there, this line. write it right. Okay, so you can see that it's a difference in length, and you know, we could probably sit here and count the characters, but really that's not too much the point. It's really about readability. So I think that message and sending it a string is much more readable. Also, we could probably load this up and have it do multiple things, including logging, if we needed to. The second thing that I did with my code, and it was what really made it concrete for me how useful action could be, is I have an action here. It takes a color and a string, so 2 parameters. I named it conColorW. It gets the color and the string. It's kind of short variable names, but I don't want it to expand the line of code all the way across the screen. And then we've got console.foreground color is equal to the color being sent in. Message, we're using it already, message, string, and then console.foreground color, and we reset it to white. Okay, so if we look at an example of doing that, it's right here. conColorW, here's my console color coming in, there's my string with my parameters, and there we go. We do a for each on that, and we use the message part of our action inside there. It's not bad. So the reduction in number of lines of code is not entirely impressive. The original method was 286 lines long. The new method is 243 lines long, which is a reduction of 33 lines or so. And if we don't include these lines, it's a little more impressive, the reduction in the number of lines of code. The reason why I wouldn't include these lines is these lines are right here, and they're obvious what they do. So it's here's my action. I'm defining it as a message, and it does this. Here's an action. It takes these 2 parameters. I'm naming it this. These are the parameters coming in, and this is what it does. Now, it seems like a lot of people don't do multi-line actions, and this does have multi-line. But it's pretty good. I enjoy using that. The only other things I would like to do is to reduce the size of these console colors. And maybe I'll do something quick later on when I go ahead and figure that out. So what we can do is take this, go up some more, here we go. And we can replace that with this. And then if I run it, it should produce pretty much the same output. Oh, good, it's in the foreground this time. Alright, that's all there is to it. Some of the pitfalls of programming are what we're touching on here. So one of the pitfalls is, I keep repeating these lines of code. Let me create a new class with a new method to do that. And that doesn't really make a lot of sense. And the reason why that doesn't make a lot of sense is because you make this utility or common class, and nobody really knows what's in it. It's common. Okay, that's great. End up having to debug through code and then get sent on over there to find out that that's where this code is running, this mystery code. What's even worse about using a common or utility class, and I've run into this myself, is that you've got 6 different programs or 10 different programs, and they all have a common class, and the common class is different in each one. Or maybe it's different in 2 out of the 6. It doesn't really matter, because once that class is different, it's no longer common. And so you can't just move it around between the different classes without breaking things. We don't want to break things. That's annoying. Anyway, that's pretty much all I wanted to say. It's mostly a talking episode this time. Shortening up code, making it more readable by using action inside of C#. It's all good stuff. Thank you.